And Jerry and Liz will be back.
They will. They will. Liz is like my teaser, because we always like to banter back and forth, and we'll get this out of the way right quick. But I tell her that she reminds me of my smart, starts with an A, smart younger sister that I never had. But anyway, we have a lot of fun bantering back and forth, don't we, dear? Hey everybody, Bill and Deb.
Hi there.
There I go again, starting off 2024 with Hey everybody, Bill and Deb.
That's who we are.
Oh well. Oh well. Well, we hope y'all had a wonderful New Year's Day.
Yes,
Right.
we did.
We did. What did we do?
We hung out with some good friends.
Yeah.
Around a campfire. Got cold. And then...
Well, now during the day it was pretty nice.
Yes.
We got up to like 68 degrees during the day, you know, and we had sun shining on us. But as the sun starts going down, it started...
About 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Well, now, believe it or not, the shortest day of the year has come and gone.
I'm ready for it to be long gone.
We're gaining a little bit every day, you know.
Oh, well.
So, enough about that. Anyway, yeah, it was a wonderful time. We're having a wonderful time with friends. Some of them, a couple of them will pull out tomorrow, and then Thursday and Friday, you know. Then it'll be back down to just basically us. And Marvin and Mary's going to hang around a little longer, though. So.
Yes. And Deb and Cal.
Yeah, and Deb and Cal, of course. So.
And Jerry and Liz will be back.
They will. They will. Anyway, before we get into the topic for today, here's another painting that Deb wanted to show you right quick. And I'm looking here, and yes, it is visible on the monitor. So there you go. And you had someone pick up one just the other day.
Yes, I've got to get that in the mail.
Going.
Hopefully today.
So yeah. Anyway, we have a topic that we're going to cover today. We had a question, and we're going to try to start doing this on Tuesdays. We'll call it Topic Tuesday. We'll experiment with it for a while and see what happens. But what we will do is take a comment that's from the comment section on previous videos, and you know, if it's a question that's been posed, then we will try to answer the question.
And if we've already done a video on it, we'll try to link to that video also.
Which we can do.
You know.
Well, on this particular question, we had several videos that pertain to the scope of what the question could end up entailing, the answer to the question.
But we're going to answer it again.
Yeah. But anyway, and it was on our video, why we chose to build a cargo trailer conversion rather than purchase a traditional RV. But this person recently asked this question here a couple days ago. And it's Greg. And Greg, he says, I told you, Greg, that I'd answer this question today. He says, I enjoy your channel. Well, thank you, Greg. We are so tickled that you enjoy the channel. And he says, I've decided to build my own also. The new RV trailers I've looked at were falling apart on the lot. Well, we've kind of seen that kind of thing ourselves. But
we're not going there.
Are you happy with your rock solid trailer? I'm going to order a trailer ready for conversion. Any recommendations? Well, I guess the simple answer, if we're happy with our rock solid trailer, would be yes.
Yes, this is our second one.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, there are certain things that we do want to talk about here. And you've got to understand this going in when you purchase a cargo trailer to convert, you know, into your tiny home or toy hauler / camper or whatever you're going to convert it into. The very name of the trailer should give you a clue. They are cargo trailers. Now, what are cargo trailers designed to do? Haul cargo. They're not really built with the thought in mind of someone living in one like a camper. Okay. And what we've always said in the past, it is up to us to make them suitable for our intended use. I tried to say that slowly because someone took that all wrong here a while back, what I said. But it is up to us to make them suitable for our intended use. Now, first and foremost, when it comes to purchasing a cargo trailer, pretty much, in our opinion, we think you're going to find this pretty much across the board on any cargo trailer from any cargo trailer manufacturer, except for maybe one so far, and I'll go into a little more detail about that in a little bit. But these cargo trailers eventually are going to leak. If they don't have leaks when you pick them up, they can develop leaks over a period of time. But you know what? A traditional RV can do the same.
Absolutely.
thing.
I was going to say that isn't just cargo trailers.
Yeah. But here's the first thing that we're going to recommend that you do. And we covered this even on the red trailer. In fact, one of our most successful videos on the red trailer was one simply entitled Water Leaks.
Right.
Yeah.
And we'll put a link to that.
Yeah, we'll put a link to that. But what we have found that you're going to have, wherever they put the joints together on the outside of the trailer and they overlap the joints there, that's where water can come in for sure. Now, there's different kinds of exteriors you can get. You can get the standard exterior trim where they mount the exterior skin, I should say. The standard method is simply to, screw the skin on, run screws, a series of screws in every single stud. And when they overlap the joints where the 4-foot wide panels meet and they overlap the joints there, they simply just run a series of screws.
And it's overlapped about that far.
Mm-hmm. So what can happen, especially where they overlap, over time, water can seep through. If water's going to find a way to get in. So water can seep through around those overlapping joints. Now, what we ended up having to do on the red trailer, and we did it on this trailer as well just because, we ended up having to, well, I need to back up a little bit. We didn't go to the extent that we did on the red trailer, but we found a better way to handle it. But on the red trailer, we actually loosened up all the screws where they overlapped at the joints, and we used a product called Lexel. We harp on Lexel. Lexel is our favorite sealer.
It's our friend.
It's our friend. It's spelled L-E-X-E-L.
Get it at Amazon, Lowe's.
I think it might have 2 L's on the end, but
and
anyway.
Home Depot.
And you get it, Lowe's, Home Depot, or Amazon. And
probably Menards. I don't know. I didn't look for it when we were there.
Well, there was just so much to see when we walked into our first Menards. But what we did, we loosened the screws, and then I took a little wedge, like a wood shim, and I would slide it in between, open that gap up a little bit, and then I'd run a bead in there, and I just worked my way up and down each seam doing that until I had that fill. Now, what I found about Lexel, others have said that that there were some methods I could have used to keep this from happening. But what I found with Lexel is if you have some that oozes out, just simply walk away. If you try to clean it, at least in my experience, and others have told me that there is a way that it can be done. If you try to clean it, you just end up smearing it, but that's what happened to me.
That stuff is difficult to remove.
But I have found that WD-40 will clean it, and mineral spirits will clean it, but you got to be too careful. If you use too much mineral spirits, it can seep back into the joint that you wanted to seal and break down the Lexel in there. So, you got that issue. But what I did, I simply walked away and I tried to gauge how much I squirted in there so that whatever did ooze out would not be all that much. And then once it cured, it cures clear. Then it simply picked up the color of the trailer and nobody even never really noticed it, But we used that extensively. And then what we also did, we came in on the inside of the trailer and we ran a bead of Lexel after we pulled all the interior paneling off the walls. We ran a bead of Lexel on both sides of each metal stud up against where the metal stud meets the exterior skin. Ran a bead all the way up and down, across, down. You'll use a lot of Lexel. Now, it might be when you have someone stand outside with a garden hose, which we highly recommend that you do, first thing you need to do is once you get all of your paneling off on the inside, the stuff that they installed at the factory, first thing you need to do is have someone stand outside with a garden hose while the other person is inside, and it can be you inside or, it doesn't matter, but someone's got to be watching on the inside while someone else on the outside sprays all around the trailer as hard as they can.
Or go out when it's raining really hard.
Yeah. and then inspect and look for visible leaks, and have a magic marker with you and mark where you found a leak, because you're going to find some. We found some in this one. We didn't find near as many in this one as we did our red trailer, but we found some. So then you'll know where you have to pay closer attention, But what we ended up doing on this one, because we got what they call a semi-screwless exterior on this one, where they use the double stick, the double stick tape on all the metal studs except where they overlap at the joints, and where they overlap at the joints, they still use screws there, but we didn't have screws on the other studs, because they use a special kind of tape to stick it together. But we still went around and ran a bead around every metal stud on the inside. We just happened to have all the paneling off on the inside, and then had a huge monstrous thunderstorm come up. And of course what we do, we run out there right quick and be watching for leaks and see if we can see anything. And we had a magic marker with us, and we made notes of where they were, and then we covered it from there. But you're going to use a lot of Lexel. If you want to do it right and not have to worry about it later, you'll use a lot of Lexel. Did we order 1 or 2 cases?
I bought 1 case, which is 12 tubes. The tubes, the kind that fit the caulk gun.
Yeah, using a caulking gun.
And then we went back and bought, I don't know, 2 or 3 more. And then we always carry a small tube in our
supply kit. Get a little squeeze tube too, and
just in case.
we keep one in a kit just in case something pops up. But that you're going to have to do that. You're simply going to have to do that. Now,
and if you get one that doesn't leak, fantastic.
Yeah. Well, still though, even if you don't find any leaks, still seal it, because believe me, if it doesn't leak now, after you've been driving down the road and it's bouncing on the road, and those panels are giving it this, as you're going down the road, leaks are going to develop. They could. So, and the neat thing about Lexel is it is an elastomer sealer. It's not a silicone sealer, it's an elastomer sealer. Now, how many people are going to watch the video and not watch the whole thing, and they're not going to catch where I said that it's an elastomer sealer, and they're going to say, well, I wouldn't use any of that silicone stuff. I'm sorry, I got off track. Anyway, the Lexel is an elastomer sealer, and it flexes. So the chances of that happening are much, much less. Developing a leak after you properly use Lexel are much less of a chance of developing a leak than, say, with other products. And that's all I'm going to say about that. The next thing is windows. If you have the factory install the windows, be sure and spray heavily around the windows. Now, in our red trailer, although we never did a video about it, because I just didn't want to hear all the negative comments about it at the time. It wouldn't bother me now. But we actually pulled the windows out 2 times at least, maybe 3.
At least 2, I don't remember.
Yeah, I pulled them out at least a couple times and tried to use some type of sealer on the inside, and put them back, and we still had a problem with leaks. And part of the problem was we used larger windows, and some of these windows, because of where we had them place them, they were actually straddling where 2 panels came together, and overlapped, which made it even harder to make them seal. And finally, I think on the 3rd time, I went down to the local RV dealer down the road, and I bought a big roll of butyl tape, and I lined the inside flange of the window with butyl tape, stuck it back up there, and then screwed down the trim rings on the inside, and the leaks totally went away. We solved it, but it was a learning experience on the red trailer, on the first trailer that we built. So yeah. So if you have them do the windows, be sure and spray real vigorously around the windows, and double check for that, because you can have leaks develop there. And one more thing to double check on the windows themselves have little, what they call weep holes along the bottom on the outside, and you'll see them. Now, there are plugs on those weep holes because they put them all the way around the window. And the reason why they put these plugs in these weep holes all the way around the window, because some might orient the window this way, others might orient the window this way, So because of that, they're going to have these plugs in all of them. Well, sometimes when they install the windows at the factory, they forget to pull those plugs out of the bottom weep holes. Don't pull them out of the top, out of the bottom. And if you don't pull those plugs, water can be running down on the inside of the window, and since it can't go back out on the outside, it will come inside. come in to visit you. So first thing you do is double check and make sure that those plugs have been pulled on the weep holes if you have them install the windows. We opted on this trailer to do our own windows. We also opted to go with windows that were small enough to fit in between the studs. And our theory behind that is if we wanted a larger window view, we would just simply stack out more narrow windows that would fit between the studs. And you know, we have one window on this side and two windows over here in the kitchen area. And the reason why there's just one window over here is because originally we were going to put the refrigerator on the wall behind the camera here, and we knew that we couldn't have two windows there. And then after we had the windows in and everything else, we experimented with doing the refrigerator in the nose of the trailer, and both of us liked it so much better. So we changed the way our kitchen design was. So now we just have one window here and two windows there over the sink. There's no room to put windows back here because it's all utilized as
The only other
storage.
place we have are the doors, and maybe
Yeah. And we're probably going to put.
we're back and forth on that.
Yeah, well, I think we're for it now for a while, but we're still, you know, we're not going to get in a hurry. So, yeah, there's things about the trailer that we already knew going in, but as far as the construction of the trailer is concerned and that kind of stuff, we are very, very happy, and we already knew about the other stuff, you know, about the water leak issues and things like that, and we had already planned for that in advance. You know, there's only one company that I know of so far that truly tests their cargo trailers after they build them to make sure that they don't have any leaks, but you're going to pay a pretty penny, but in my opinion it's probably worth it if you got the money, and that's a company called ATC. Remember that video we watched at ATC Trailers? Mm-hmm. Yeah. They build, not only do they build cargo type trailers or car hauler trailers, but they also build RVs as well. And there's some quality construction in those. Of course, you know, you pay the price for that, but hey, there you go. But they actually have a special booth that they pull the trailer into after they're done putting it all together that simulates heavy thunderstorms, and they leave it in there and let it rain and rain and rain all around this trailer, all the while double checking to make sure they don't have any leaks before they pull it out the other end. I don't think Rock Solid does that, or any of your basic cargo trailer
Basic cargo
manufacturers,
trailers
of course.
don't.
And I'm not slamming Rock Solid cargo trailers, you know, at all, because this is our second one. So
We've
that's
been
gotta
very
say
happy
something.
with it.
Yeah.
All in all.
But we don't expect everything to be perfect, you know, because here again, I'll say this one more time, the name in itself describes what they are. They are cargo trailers, so their intended use from the manufacturer is to haul cargo. It is up to us to get them, make them suitable for our intended use. Now, recommendations, and we've talked about this many times. Order it with an extended tongue. Get an extended tongue. You'll make a world of difference on how the thing tows. If you're not gonna, my stomach's talking to me, and she did feed me. If it's not a big issue, get straight axles rather than drop axles. Straight axles will give you more ground clearance, and it'll make it easier for running your drains out and things like that. If you have sewer drains and things like that, it's going to make it a whole lot simpler to handle about that, because it's going to give you a lot more ground clearance to go straight axles. And in my opinion, straight axles are actually stouter than drop axles, the traditional 4-inch drop axles that they normally build them out of. If you're not going to use it as a car hauler, but you still want the rear ramp drawer, consider having them delete the dovetail portion of the floor towards the back. If you're going to haul a motorcycle or something like that, and you don't necessarily need that dovetail portion to get the bike up into the trailer, consider having them delete that. It'll make your build out on the inside simpler as well. That'll take away some of the things you have to consider when you're building stuff that would drop over that dovetail on the back. Extended tongue, straight axles. Now, the straight axles will be an up-priced option. You know, I think they will charge you extra for straight axles, even if they're the same rating. but they'll be more money. The extended tongue will be an additional fee, of course. We went ahead and got the slant nose on ours, and whether it makes a difference as far as aerodynamics or anything, I don't know. I just think it looks cool, and that's why I got it. And if I ever do another one, it'll have a slant nose as well. One other thing that I did not do, and I've seen it on other trailers, and I absolutely love it, and I can see benefits of it, is the rear spoiler on the back, where they extend the roof of the trailer back about that far, and it's got a real nice taper, and Rock Solid does that, because we saw a Rock Solid trailer where they included that in the build, and it really set that trailer off. It was an 8.5 by 16, and he got the slant nose and then that spoiler on the back that extended out, like I say, about that far. And man, it just made that thing look so sharp, in my opinion. But that's just a guy thing, you know. But there's other benefits to that. You know, now you've got a little bit of a water break. If you mount a backup camera up in there, you can mount it up underneath that extension, that little awning, if you will, and that will help protect it from water, you know, landing directly on it. And we have a minor issue with ours sometimes, you know, because it's out there totally exposed. It's a perfect place to hang some lights. In fact, I think you might even be able to get it with lights from the factory. So that's another thing to consider, that having lights there, which will make it easier for you to see if you're, you know, if you keep the ramp. We don't have a ramp on ours because our design was different and we didn't need the ramp. But, you know, if you keep the ramp, it'll give you extra lighting right there. You can put lights up there. So there's some benefits to it. I don't know exactly how much that would cost to have that added to it, but ask them about that. Anything else, babe, that you can think of?
Not right offhand, no.
All right. One more thing I'll mention, and a lot of people don't know this, and we've mentioned it 2 or 3 times in other videos. You can get, if you're going to be building a 7 wide, traditionally all 7 wide trailers have exactly the same axles as 8.5 wide trailers, which means your track width is exactly the same on a 7-foot wide trailer as it is on an 8.5 wide trailer. The only difference is on the 7-foot wide trailer, they have the fenders outside, you know, but your axles are the same. And on an 8.5, they have fender wells on the inside because they build the body of the trailer that goes out over the wheels. And then they have little fenderettes, you know, on there. But you'll have to deal with the fender wells on the inside. What a lot of people don't know, if you're considering building a 7 wide, you can get a 7 wide narrow track. And basically what they use on that, they use the same axles that they would use on a typical 6 wide. They'll still have the same, you can still get them with the same capacity rating and things like this. And then they put the little fenderettes, but basically it's a 7 wide that looks like an 8.5 wide. But what you've got going on there now you don't have that extra track width sticking out. And, you know, it fits real neatly behind your tow vehicle that way. And if I was to ever build a 7 wide again, I would go with a 7 wide narrow track. The only thing is with a 7 wide narrow track is that now you'll have to deal with those fender wells on the inside. So if you're going to be hauling something that's a little too wide, you know, a little wider, like maybe I've lost for words.
One of those, wide thing.
A button, a side by side. If you're going to be hauling a button that has 4 wheels. Okay. Anyway, and it may not fit between the fender wells. So, you know, keep that in the back of your mind. But if you're planning on going into tight places and the fender wells would not cause an issue in your build, that will give you a little bit more wiggle room if you're going to be going, you know, down very, very narrow forestry roads and things like that. You know, there's all kinds of things to think about. But Rock Solid will build you a narrow track like that. Anything else before we go?
Not that I can think of at the moment. Okay. I think we've more than answered his question.
I hope so. Greg, I hope this helped you at all. If you have any more questions about that, feel free to, you know, post a comment in the comment section of this video. And if anyone else has questions, post them there. And if we think that it's something that would really benefit our followers, we will cover that in another Topic Tuesday. Right?
Yes.
Yeah. We have one more walkthrough video to go on our all the walkthrough videos that we did at the last rendezvous in Pickensville, Alabama. And this one you'll want to watch because it's quite unique. And the platform that he used to build this on is quite unique, wouldn't you say?
I thought we didn't use the word unique.
I can use the word unique. I'm not going to use the word ultimate.
Okay, so sorry.
Yeah. Unique
So
and
sorry.
ultimate's two different things.
Two different words.
There's all,
you are correct.
every single build is unique.
That is correct. I'm
but
so
every
sorry.
single build is not the ultimate.
I've had way
There's no
too
such
many
thing.
nights around the campfire.
Well, she's gonna want to-
Hey. It's been strictly
For medicinal purposes?
no.
Okay.
It's a community thing. It's a I'm being hospitable. I'm being part of the group. I'm trying to think of the right word, and it isn't coming.
Well, I could go into more detail about this, but I'm not going
I
to
don't
because
think
then
you
I'll
need
be in
to.
trouble the rest of the day.
Yes, and
you
you're in
know.
enough
Well, I
trouble.
could be in trouble for the rest of the week, for that. But anyway, I guess we better go.
Yes.
It's Bill and Deb with I Ride Tiny House Adventures. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you have a good 2024. We're going to do everything we can to
That's the goal.
have a good 2024 and to try to help you have a good 2024. But keep this in mind, folks. We are not camping.
We are living.
You all get out there in 2024 and do some living. And we will see you again soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.